Hey guys, and welcome back to another episode of Thrive. And I'm really excited to talk to you about one thing that I think is so powerful. I talk to many of my clients a lot of the time about this. It's about stillness. And particularly, when we're in such fast-paced lives, we're very driven. We want to get things done. We've got a lot to get done. All right. You're constantly moving, constantly solving problems, constantly reacting, emails, calls, meetings, responsibilities, family life. It can all get overwhelming. Our brains just aren't set up to work in that way efficiently. And what happens is overwhelm starts to set in, mentally exhausted, and you start to disconnect from your health goals, disconnect from your own energy, disconnect from you being present in the moment. And what happens here is we become very reactive. And then people wonder why they can't stay true to their health, fitness, and well-being goals because they are in this reactive mode understandably, okay, mentally fatigued. They're being pulled in, as I said, multiple of different places. And this is only going to get worse and is getting worse because of how easy it is to get a hold of us. We've got the phones, got notifications, social media, work demands, and there's a multitude of different ways that people can get hold of us. TV, the news is a huge one. We're surrounded by news 24/7, more information, more information. And we've got things like this, podcasts, and just the ever-growing noise. And what we need to understand is if we're going to stay true to our own health and well-being and be able to show up for the people that we care for, we have to be able to work on the skill of creating stillness, being aware of the importance of that, and then how to do that. And how does that look within your day? Because it can't go on this way. You can't just keep growing anxiety, stress, poor sleep, emotional eating, lack of focus, burnout. Okay, we hear all these things all the time. And I highly believe, yes, there's other things at play, but one of the biggest things is in our inability to quieten down the mind, come back into our bodies, and find stillness. Now, you'll be pleased to know I'm not going to be talking about 5 a.m. wake ups. I'm not talking about an hour-long meditation, daily sessions, nothing that's going to add, additional stress and strain to your already busy, crazy lives already. But what it is going to do, and what I want to talk to in this episode is how does finding stillness actually look within a busy schedule, a family life, career, business going on as well. Okay. So, number one, morning stillness routine. Now, as I said, it's not about getting up at 5 a.m. We're probably already getting up early anyway through work and family, but creating some time, whether that's 30 minutes, 20 minutes, 15 minutes, where you're able just to get some you time, some quiet time before the world starts to wake up. Okay. And what we can do here with a little bit of structure is we can start to work towards how we're going to go into the day with true intention from stillness. So we can get up and utilize that time. We can grab some water and we can just sit and we can just find some stillness within our breath. Okay. If meditation is your thing, then fine. You can do 5 minutes of meditation. You could do 90 minutes of meditation, not 90 seconds of meditation. It doesn't matter. Breath work doesn't matter, but just centering yourself. Okay. Now, what I like to do from there is I like to do a little bit of reading and I like to read a bit of the Stoics. So whether that's the Daily Stoic book or it's some Marcus Aurelius, Seneca, Epictetus, whatever I just find interesting, basically. And I may read a page, I may read 2 pages. You don't have to read a lot. Okay. But just something that interests you, something that pulls you towards how you want to show up in your life. And I know if I pick something up from Marcus Aurelius, it's going to really set my intentions moving into the day in a really powerful way. And again, not in a reactive way. And then after that, what I like to do is then I just like to write down kind of certain feelings and emotions that I might be feeling that might be coming up for me in that stillness, in that quiet time. And it's really, really powerful because we to get something that's in here in our minds down onto paper can really free up space in that mental fatigue and also can really allow you to break down certain feelings and emotions and see them for what they really are and to work through them much better instead of them hanging around in your head, moving around and you're not actually getting anywhere with them. They're just, if anything, they're getting worse. They're building, they're growing, and getting them down on paper can be really, really powerful. This isn't a case of just writing pages and pages. You may write just a couple of lines about certain feelings and emotions that are going on for you, and it can, as I said, really alleviate a lot of anxiety and ability to break down those certain feelings and emotions. Okay. Then I like to move on to what value am I going to show the world today? So I think it's really important that you have some clarity around what your values are and then how you're going to bring that into your day. Okay. Writing down how you're going to bring one of your values into the how is it going to show up in the day today. Okay. And then I also like to write about what is the one thing that I need to get done for the day. And it's not adding to an already present checklist. What you're doing is you're setting a standard or you're setting a non-negotiable that aligns to your true ultimate self. So that may be making a nourishing meal. It may be phoning a family member. It may be taking the kids to school. It may be, taking yourself off for your midday walk because physically and mentally it's going to be helpful. Just something that isn't another tick on the to-do list, but something that holds you accountable to your standards and to your non-negotiables and how you move towards your goals. Okay, so how are you going to show? What's the one thing you're going to show up and do today for yourself? Okay, and then I like to finish this piece off with gratitude. So just writing down what I'm grateful for in my life. And this is powerful because a lot of the time we can be looking at what we haven't got, what we're constantly working towards, and our attention is pulled to the future, and we are actually missing out on what we currently have in our life. Okay, and again, that is really going to set a real intention of how you're going into the day. You start writing down what you already have in your life, what you're grateful for, your health, your body, your family, your home, running water, food in the fridge, warmth. Okay, you really start to go into the day in a much more calm and aligned way. Okay, and you can alleviate a lot of stress and anxiety by just doing a gratitude list. Okay, so I'd read. I would then get down those feelings and emotions on the page, okay, to break them down and work through them, okay. Then I would write how am I going to show the world one of my values, okay, and then I would also then write down what is the one thing I'm going to do today that is aligned to my ultimate goals, okay. Doesn't have to be huge, it can be very small, but it is you showing up, and then gratitude. That could be done, and I honestly do that within 10 to 15 minutes. It's done, okay? And what I gain from that is just it's so big. That's the reason why I keep doing it because it would just be weird for me not to do it. So don't overlook the power of a morning routine that is 10 minutes long or 15 minutes long and gets you to write and to get into your day in a really, really powerful day. Now, for many people, that's where it stops. And before they know it, they get into the day and the day runs away from them and they've forgotten, about the importance of stillness. So having a reminder in that midday is really powerful to reaffirm it, to bring yourself back to the power of stillness. Okay. And almost just to reflect back on the morning. So in your, midday, maybe your lunch break, between meetings, making sure that you've got that opportunity to take 5 minutes to find that stillness again, to bring you back to those values, and how you're going to show up. Okay, and this could be, as I said, going out for a walk and on your lunch without your phone, disconnecting. That's going to be really key because again, we've probably been connected to a multitude of different things pulling our attention. Yeah, putting your phone down, taking deep breaths. Um, you may be going and making yourself a nourishing meal, just something that's going to bring you back to that stillness and really reaffirm it. Okay. And again, this doesn't really need to take much time at all. This is just you just coming back to it and practicing it, as the day gets more louder and louder. All right. Now, on to the third and final piece, and to really finish the day strong is that daily debrief. Okay, a part of your evening routine. So instead of having more news shoved down your throat, or more distraction, or more TV, just taking a moment just to find that stillness again and really look back at the day, okay, and ask yourselves some really, really powerful questions, okay, and stuff that you can really then alleviate a lot of stress. And you'll probably find because of this, you'll sleep better, or you'll get into sleep a lot better as well. Okay. And here are some of the questions that you can ask yourself and write down in your journal. Where did I live aligned today? Okay. So just pulling out those moments and those actions that really align to your ultimate self and what you want to achieve and how you want to show up. Okay. Because a lot of the time we can overlook these things and we can always be pulled to the stuff that we didn't do. Okay. And the negative aspects of the day. All right. Where did I react instead of respond? Okay. So a lot of the time we can be in reactive mode, and we want to be able to take a moment just to ask ourselves, is this truly something that aligns to my ultimate self? All right. So where did you just take that moment instead of just being reactive? You took a moment just to think that over and come up with an alternative that was more aligned to you. And that may be a choice around a meal. That may be the choice to go for a walk instead of sitting at your desk, going through more emails at lunchtime. Okay. It may be just slowing down your eating at lunch, and just enjoying that food. Okay. It may be calling a friend or a family member, but um, where did you take that moment not to react? Okay. What might this be teaching me? So anything that was challenging, just look a bit deeper into that and ask yourself, what is it actually teaching me? Okay, because there's always going to be something within that obstacle, that struggle, that it's asking something from you. And what could that be? And just taking a moment to ask that really powerful question. And then what gave me energy today? All right. We can see a lot of the time we can see training and exercise as something that pulls energy away from us. But actually, if we think about how it made us feel, it probably made us feel really powerful, okay, physically and mentally. That walk in the morning may have made us feel empowered. That playing with the kids may have pulled energy towards us. But look at what gave you energy, and then you can build on that into your days moving forwards. And then the last one, what is one aligned action I'll carry into tomorrow? All right. So reaffirming something that you're really pleased with and taking that into the next day. All right. And then making that a daily habit, something that is a part of your identity. And we all know to do that, we need to be Not perfect, but we need to be consistently working towards it, okay, and reaffirming it. All right. And that's a really powerful way to block off your day. Okay. So, morning routine, midday, uh, realignment, find that stillness, and then that debrief. That's going to really form your ability to really manage your output, your focus, your energy, and manage down stresses and overwhelm and poor habits and choices that you may be making. You only make empowering decisions from stillness. Okay, you are going to make really reactive decisions from being in your head for too long and that mental fatigue and overload. Okay, so we need to start to look at stillness. It's not laziness. Stillness is not weakness. Stillness is not doing nothing. We need to start looking that stillness is recovery. It's awareness. From awareness, we can take really aligned action. Stillness is recalibrating how we go into each day, all right, and how we work through challenges, all right. And the greatest people that have achieved things have this ability, all right, and constantly work on it of finding that those stillness because they know within that stillness comes the great ideas, comes the empowerment, comes the good choices. Okay. So, hope that's been helpful. Hope that's been something that you're able to take away and actually start to implement, um, and actually start to work at it. This isn't something that you just become great at. This is something that you work on. You're constantly working on it. I've been doing morning routines, debriefs for years, and I'm never perfect. It's never perfect. That's not what I'm looking for, but I'm looking to become better. I'm working at it. I'm always coming back to it because I know how powerful this really is. So, if you are someone who is looking to really break through those limited beliefs when it comes to your health, your fitness, your well-being, want to be able to show up for yourself and your family, be that role model, then and learn more about how to find stillness and how to bring this into your weekly routine, I'd love to help. And it's something that, as I said, I work with all my clients at Thrive Method to do. All right, all you need to do, check out Thrive Method. I'll put the link in the description and yeah, we can have a chat. But I hope that's been really, really powerful and I'll see you in the next one.